the Civil War Collectible channel. My name is Steve Munson and I am the Civil War Guru. And today we have in here for evaluation is something near and dear to my heart. A Southern saddle. This particular saddle is patterned after the 1832 U.S. artillery saddle. And of course this is Confederate. It has the long skirts, which is after the 1832 pattern. And this was really a wonderful thing for both the rider and the horse, because your leg would be protected from rubbing the horse. So both the rider and the horse were happy. And this weekend I was at the Gettysburg show and see my friend Howard Coucher, who's one of the most famous diggers I would say in the Virginia area. He's been digging there for probably 40 years. And we were talking about the stirrups here. And he's dug several of them, and his friends have dug several over the years. And they always wondered where they came from. At first they thought they were imported from England. But then you found out that these are made in a Richmond foundry. So that makes this saddle a Richmond artillery saddle. So we kind of commiserated last weekend. And this is probably one of the few saddles, if any. I think I have one in the museum here in Bardstown, which has the same stirrups on them. But this is a forged iron stirrup, and it has the original pair on here. And this particular saddle here come out of eastern Kentucky, right there on the Kentucky-Virginia line at the Cumberland Gap. And during the Civil War, the 14th Confederate Cavalry, Kentucky, that was their job to guard the Cumberland Gap on the Virginia side. And that's where this particular saddle come from. This saddle's in wonderful condition for being what it is. The leather's still pliable. And we're going to get over here in the cameraman and get some close-ups, but it has the padding underneath of it, which is a horsehair padding, and that is covered with a fabric that is all intact. And the seat, which comes up, let's go to the rear of the seat here, is tacked, both front and back. But the condition of the saddle is just super. And of course this blanket, it's a post-war blanket. I just put it on there so you could actually see the saddle a little bit better. But these saddles were comfortable to ride versus the Jennifer or the McClellan style. And the cavalry boys, they would sit in the saddles all day long. In Kentucky here we have more of the plantation style, and that's what General Morgan and his men would ride, the plantation style saddles. And of course General Stovepipe Johnson, one of my favorite Kentucky partisan rangers, most of those guys rode the plantation style saddles. But back to this saddle. This is a great saddle, and it's worthy of any collection. And it's also, there's 2 or 3 of these pictured in Kenny Knopp's book. Kenny Knopp did the saddles of the Confederacy, and matter of fact a few of my saddles are in there. But there's 2 or 3 of these saddles pictured in the book, which one is actually ID'd, and of course I looked for any ID on this. I couldn't find anything. But condition means a lot on this, and this is, if you want to know what the Confederate cavalry rode early in the war, this is it. Because later in the war it was too much leather to be used. They didn't have enough leather. So that's why they went to a saddle like the McClellan. So I'm going to give this thing an appraisal today. And of course if this was a McClellan or a Jennifer Confederate saddle, it'd be the $4,000 to $5,000 range. And this being the artillery style saddle, I'm still going to give it a range between $1,500 and it could go pretty good, as much up to $2,500, because it is identifiable. And now that they have found out that the stirrups were made in a Richmond foundry, it adds more credence to it being a Confederate use saddle. So from the old Civil War Guru, have a great day.